So what do I mean by forced monogamy? Well, if monogamy was an option, I'm a strong believer in that the men who do raise their standards, do have the ability to take care of more, are more able to provide, should clearly have the ability to exercise that power. Meaning that they have multiple wives, they raise in multiple families, they can handle the responsibilities that come with it. Society thinks otherwise. Warning, viewer discretion is advised. The content, views, and educational material you are about to experience could challenge your belief, trigger strong emotions, and frankly, piss you off. This isn't for everyone. If you're not ready to confront new ideas, or if your feelings bruise easily, this might be the time to click away. Expect to be challenged, to think, and you might even want to scream at the screen. Proceed with caution, and remember, you chose to be here. Let's get it. Assalamu alaikum, peace. I am Coach Nazir, one of the coaches here at Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as one of the authors of the book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. I want to share something with you today that I shared when I was speaking with a client of mine. And there's this concept, even though most people don't generally call it by its proper name, but the concept is called forced monogamy. Yep, forced monogamy. Now, of course, we're simply pro-moral, so I don't care if you're practicing polygyny or monogamy or what, but we feel strongly about the protection of the nuclear family. But let me just start off by saying this. There's a list I'm going to read to you. I want you to let me know what these people may have in common. Just a very short list, by the way. But presidents like Bill Clinton, John F. Kennedy, Donald Trump, politicians like John Edwards, Rudy Giuliani, Elliot Spitzer, Anthony Weiner, or religious figures, Pastor John Gray, Pastor Carl Lentz, Pastor Jimmy Swaggart, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Tariq Ramadan, Elijah Muhammad, or Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., or celebrities like Denzel Washington, Jay-Z, Kevin Hart, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Adam Levine, Ashton Kutcher, John Legend, Brad Pitt, Ben Affleck, Jude Law, Offset. All right, can't forget Bill Cosby, or athletes. I mean, the list again is pretty long, but Lamar Odom, Allen Iverson, Tiger Woods, Steve McNair, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan. But also Kobe Bryant. All right, or social media influencers like Derek Jackson, for example. So was there a common thread you put together as I went through this small sample list of names? No, not yet. Right, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, stuff like that. Well, let me mention two. One, all of these individuals are alleged to have had or admitted to having sexual intimacy with people who were not their spouses. So infidelity, cheating, call it whatever you will. Now, the vast majority of these people, with the exception of maybe a couple of them, are also rich, as in 7, 8, 9 figures. So yeah, even 10, there are a few billionaires on the list as well. And I didn't mention like Bill Gates, right? So there are many people here on that list, these men who have the ability to practice polygyny, the ability to marry multiple women, meaning ability as in financially, not necessarily societally, but financially they can provide for very well, I would say. As you can see, many women were part of this. Now, I'm not going to go into naming the women, mistresses, jump downs, or any of the children or bastards that came from this. Yes, there's actually a term called bastard that means a child that is born out of wedlock. There used to be a time in society where marriage was something that was honorable and something noble. Where nowadays, the terms like baby mama, baby daddy is something that is more common, sadly, and more acceptable than that of husband and wife or wives. So what do I mean by forced monogamy? Well, if monogamy was an option, I'm a strong believer in that the men who do raise their standards, do have the ability to take care of more, are more able to provide, should clearly have the ability to exercise that power. meaning that they have multiple wives. They raise in multiple families. They can handle the responsibilities that come with it. Society thinks otherwise. See, what you don't think about is the women. You know, people are like, oh, no, they shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that, or maybe they should just control their lust and so on and so forth. You know, that's a whole different thing. When you make and design your own planet, Mr. or Miss Creator, set it up how you will. But in this one, we are not the same. Men and women are not the same. Come from the same species. All right, we're different. We need each other. That's how we win. But we are not the same. So with that being said, no one's really talking about the women here. The women who they cheated with. The women who some have these extra children. The women who are just pretty much dispensable, they're expendable. Don't have much value. All right, not regarded as much, prostituted themselves out. So yeah, what about them? They don't have a right to get married? See, one of the challenges that we hear is that, you know what, there's more than enough women in America. Yeah, there are more than enough women in America. There are. The fact of the matter is that every male linked up with every single female just on an XY basis, over 6 million women or 6 million females be left unmarried. Now, we know that's not how it works. You want to find a spouse, oh, just next door neighbor, she's a female. Next door neighbor, he's a male, or across the street, down the block. That's not how it happens. There's a lot of other variables and nuances that go on, right? Absolutely. Now, what I mean by forced monogamy is that none of these individuals have the legal ability to go ahead and marry their mistress, because there are some who have relationships for quite some time, hush, hush. They have good relationships, they have love, they have these intimate connections. However, they're doing it in an immoral way. They didn't go and marry them, according to their scripture or their background or their belief system and practice polygyny, like many of these people on the list of Christians, especially the pastors. I mean, Martin Luther King, Reverend Jesse Jackson, John Edwards. These people are religious individuals. They talk about the word. And in the word, there are people that practice polygyny. The most righteous people, these prophets that were sent to mankind for guidance. But no matter your religious or cultural background, the question is, why is it okay to have women as expendable as this and not recognize that polygyny is an ancient solution to a modern day problem? Because men, they're still going to do what they're going to do. Many men aren't interested in polygyny because it's much cheaper, easier, and more acceptable to simply cheat, have a mistress, have a sugar baby, have a jump down, have a prostitute, have an escort, right? Or they turn to porn, or they turn to OnlyFans, they turn to whatever outlets that exist and pop up that are not moral, instead of marrying additional women, raising your standard as a man, holding yourself to a higher level, and having the privilege to be responsible for another family. When polygyny is not an option, when you erase that and you get rid of that, then you're forcing monogamy. I don't care if you're talking about how, DeVal was talking to his wife, Kay, the Ellises, if you will, when he felt that he was forced into monogamy with her. They were already doing everything before marriage. He opened up polygyny and stuff like that. She wanted to shut that down, even though she wasn't. They had a whole podcast, dead ass podcast, where he pretty much broke down how he felt he wasn't getting enough from her intimacy wise. And that's the only outlet he had. So he felt he was trapped in monogamy while she was weaponizing sex.
Why do women constantly push monogamy on men? If you know that you don't want to have to deal with him all the time just wanting you, why do you push monogamy on men?
Well, who's to say I pushed anything on anybody?
Well, we know that you pushed monogamy on me.
I pushed monogamy. I forced you to get married to me?
Time out. I didn't say you forced me to get married, but did you not say to me that you wanted to be engaged and you wanted to be married before you lived with me? You didn't say that?
I want $1 billion. That don't mean I'm going to get it. I can want something, but not...
You right now, you dodging the question.
Nobody pressed you to do it. Yes, is that something I wanted? Yes, it was. But...
You didn't press me to... Are you going to lie now to the people because we talking about sex?
DeVal,
you're going to lie now to the people?
DeVal, knowing...
Kadeen, you didn't want monogamy?
Of course I did.
So then why are you avoiding the question?
That's not avoiding the question. I'm saying, does that mean because I wanted and I requested that you were going to deliver it? Like, nobody pressed you for that.
Time out. You just said you wanted it and requested it. Do you not hear yourself?
I can make a request. Is the request going to be granted?
Am I
That's
not?
up to you, bro.
Am I not granting you monogamy?
you are granting it to me.
So this is my question.
Look
This
at
is my
you
question.
always. Look at your boy. Look at your boy.
This is my question. If you wanted monogamy,
Okay.
why would you want monogamy if sex is a chore for you? That's the question. You're avoiding the question.
I'm not avoiding the question, but at first you said women or in general me specifically are pushing monogamy on somebody. Okay, yes, that's something that I wanted, but I didn't press you for it and be like, DeVal, I'm gonna hold a gun to your head to propose to me.
Time out.
Also, let me finish. Also, I don't feel like I was adequately prepared for marriage. And I've said that before, because if I knew that marriage and monogamy was going to involve me trying to meet you where you were at sexually for years to come, then I probably would have reevaluated it if I wanted to be monogamous anyway.
Weaponizing sex. A man is in monogamy. He wants it more than a woman, generally, because again, that's how we're built. But he can't, then sex is weaponized. He's shunned and shamed and all kinds of stuff like that in society. And I know before you can figure, oh, you can control your lust and all the right. First of all, we're designed where a natural man has 10 times more testosterone than a woman has. And we have a stronger drive. We want to plant our seed. We want our legacy to go. This is something that's biological no matter what culture you're in. Now, this same drive that we have also has aggression. Yeah, it also is competitive. So the things that we do are driven by this same desire. It's called sexual transmutation. Chapter 17, the book Think and Grow Rich, the original before the copyright expired. But yeah, chapter 17, sexual transmutation. To learn actually how to channel that energy that you have, that sexual energy, into other things, whether that's creating, building, protecting, technological advances, whatever, is very important. However, it's not just as simple as saying, oh, why don't you just go ahead and just tame that or neuter that. That's not how it is. Especially with the easy availability to doing what is immoral. Fact of the matter is, I was a snitch. I was 5 years old, right? And I went with my father somewhere. He was taking me somewhere, and I remember going outside. It was a little cold, and I had my coat on, and I'm 5. So he's 21 or 22 at the time, since I was born when he was 16. So we get to his T-top Thunderbird with the entire the painting or whatever on the hood of the vehicle. Really, really nice. Now, this is back in the days like Starsky and Hutch, Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider, A-Team, all these muscle cars. I guess A-Team is not a muscle car whatsoever, but all these muscle cars. So I'm in there, I'm 5. I'm like, oh man, this is my dad. He's like the strongest person in the world that I know and everything, right? So I'm in there with him. And then he goes somewhere. I don't know where we're going. I'm 5. I don't remember all the places at all. But I do remember one thing. He went to go pick up some lady that was not my mama. Yep. All I can think of is my 5-year-old mind. I'm telling mama, I didn't know who she was. Didn't care who she was. I knew she wasn't my mama, my aunties, my grandma. She's not related. I know who this woman was. He had dropped her off, and all that was in my 5-year-old brain was, I am telling. So as soon as we got home and I had run up the stairs, got into the kitchen, my mother was there by the sink, I said, Mama, Daddy had a lady in the car. That's exactly what I said. I knew he was behind me. He hadn't even closed the door after coming through. And I was taking my jacket off and I was like, yeah, shouldn't have had her in the car anyway. I didn't look at him. I just walked off because I know he was probably looking at me in the back of the head. But whatever happened at that time. But I knew that something just wasn't right. It wasn't my mama. All right, so yep, I snitched. It is what it is. So I was protecting my mother at the time. However, have you ever wondered if it was normal that a man had to make certain standards higher than the average? Would he strive to achieve these things? Would he strive to make more money, have more homes, get these things done if he knew that he can marry 2 or 3 or 4 women? He can grow his family. He can have peace. These things can help accelerate his desire and his drive to have a stronger base, a stronger family. See, many people look at polygyny today as some overly sexual, this is just a threesome thing, or only thing you see is them with the girls hanging over them, they all kissing each other, and type of polyamory type thing. But polygyny is built about building strong nuclear families and building faster. Because with that comes strength. Well, with forced monogamy, where the normalization of boyfriends, girlfriends, again, jumps down mistresses, bastards all over the place, which is the norm, unfortunately, now, especially in my community. That's a sad situation, but if we don't address the morals, how are we going to protect anything else that comes from that? So, think on that. Think of forced monogamy. How is it serving you? Now, not just coming from a scarcity mindset or mentality. Well, I have to be competitive. Or what about if another woman is looking at my man, da-da-da. And so, no. Remove yourself from the equation. Why don't you just disassociate for a second? How is forced monogamy currently working in our society? Then maybe it's time to try an ancient solution to a modern day problem, or minimally get education on it. Because when you speak about it, you learn about it, you can overcome a whole lot of fears and unnecessariness that goes with it. Now, before you go, it's not for everybody. Of course it's not for everybody. There's not even twice as many women on the earth than men. So don't worry about it. It's highly unlikely that the majority anywhere will participate in it. But I will tell you some facts. Right now, where I am in the US, if you are Black per se, or you're Black American, African American, whatever you want to call yourself, and you want if a woman wants a man with a college degree, currently they outnumber 7-1. So 1 Black man is his degree to 7 Black women. If that's a prerequisite for you, for whatever reason, for marriage, you might want to start considering polygyny. And they're not the only ones. Again, all across the board, women already outnumber men. And that's just numbers. When it comes down to it, good men or quality men far outnumber women. So with that being said, remember, a wish changes nothing, but a decision changes everything. And if you want to get more educated about polygyny, how to practice it right in a healthy fashion, then make sure you order our book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored, by going to letstalkpolygamy.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Make sure you leave in the comments your opinion on forced monogamy. Let me know you watched the entire video, supporting what we do and everything else by putting in the comments big ups, BIGUPS. All right, y'all, I'm out. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. I'm a polygamous man. Yeah, I said it.
And I hated it when I found out.
Well, I kind of liked it when I found out.
Was it easy? Not at all. However, if you want to practice polygamy without destroying your family,
make sure you grab our book.
It's been called The Blueprint to Polygamy.
The link is in the description.
or comment
Uncensored.
and we'll send you the link.